Hi everybody, this is the lesson for Step Up 4. So why don't you go ahead and get out your pink or salmon colored packet and do week 18, day 3. So you can go ahead and pause this video and complete the first half of this page. And then once you press play, you will see the answers. All right, here are the answers. Go ahead and check yours. Okay, so back to our lesson. This week we have been working on multiplying and dividing. So let's do a little review about division. And multiplication. Our math goal today is to see, today's math goal is to see if you can relate division and multiplication. So what this means is we're going to see if you can relate division to multiplication and see how they work together. I introduced this a little bit yesterday, but we're going to continue practicing in our packet today. And for additional practice, if you want it, you can also use the math workbook because they have the step-up lessons in the back, as you can see. So let's go ahead and do a little review and practice together. Okay, so the packet actually does a really nice job. It says you can divide to make equal groups. So remember, this is the division symbol that we use to show that we're going to break up a big number into equal parts. Okay, so it's a line with two little dots. Okay, if you turn it sideways, it kind of reminds me of two eyes looking back at me. So just make sure that you draw your line and two dots, one on each side, and there is your division sign or your symbol. So then we can make a division sentence where we are using our whole number, divided by a part to equal a part. So let's go ahead and practice a little bit. So here is our division sentence. 14 divided by 2 equals what? I'm just going to put x here for our variable to represent our missing number. So we have no idea what x is. So 14 divided by 2 will equal my answer. So I have 14 paper clips. And I'm going to separate them into two equal groups. Okay, so I'm going to go, you get one, I get one. I'm just going to keep doing this until I run out of paper clips. Okay, oh, and there I go. I am out of my paper clips, and I divided 14 into two groups. Now, this X represents how many paper clips were in each group. So 14 divided by 2 equals what? So we divided in 2, and how much is in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So X equals 7. I could put any letter here. I could put B, I could put A. I'm just saying that this is our missing number. Okay, we're not sure what it was, but we learned that X equals 7. So just a quick reminder, like subtraction, our whole number is the big number, and we're going to divide it by a part, and it's going to equal another part. So when we think about multiplication means we can take a part times a part to equal a whole, like our addition. But this is multiplying instead. Remember this X. Okay, This little x in our multiplication sentence represents groups of. You can think of it like that. So if I go back to my division problem and I plug in my two parts, I could say 2, let's get a different color here. Here's one part. Let's do 2 times, what was our answer? 7. 2 times 7 equals what? Well, I know it's going to equal our whole, which is 14. So let's put that down here. 2 times 7 equals 14. Now, let's double check and see if this is true. So, 2 times 7 can be interpreted as 2 groups of 7. Well, I see one group here and one group here. So, how many groups are there? Say it out loud. 2. There are 2 groups. 1, 2. And how many are in each group? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. So just like our relationship between addition and subtraction, it's very similar to the relationship between dividing and multiplying. Wow. Let's try another one. I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pencil, or you can just think of the answer in your head. Okay, so let's do 6 divided by 3. What would that equal? 6 divided by 3. Now, I can use paper clips, or I can actually use a number line too, whatever works best. So if I have 6 total paper clips, okay, can I divide that into 3 equal groups? So imagine that you have maybe 3 different bags that could represent our group. So 3 different bags you're going to put our paper clips into. So it might help you just to draw the 3 groups. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I need to divide these 6 paper clips into these 3 groups. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, my paper clips are divided into 3 equal groups. Now, we need to find our answer. 6 divided by 3 equals what? Remember, you only need to look at one of these groups. 6 divided by 3, it means how many are in each group. So how many paper clips are in each group? 2. What? What did you say? Yeah, 2. 6 divided by 3. So if I was to take my 6 and divide it into 3 equal groups, I could show you like this. I could say here's 2 group, here's 1 group, here's 2 groups, here's 3 groups. So 6 paper clips divided into 3 groups. Now, yes, there's 3 groups, but this is what's tricky. The 2 represents how many are in each group. Not all together, just focus on one of the groups. Okay, so could you come up with a multiplication sentence for this problem? See if you can either say it or write it down. You can pause this video if you need extra time. Okay, so let me get a different marker. That is a highlighter, Miss Rehnquist. That's not going to work. Okay, here we go. So we know that 6 is the biggest number. 6 is bigger than 3 and 2. That is our whole number. We cannot divide from any number that's not the biggest. Okay, so otherwise you're not going to get the right answer here. We need to divide starting with the biggest number involved. So 6 is our whole number. All right, it's our big number. So that was our big group of paper clips. And we divided that by 3. Okay, so this is a part. Okay, and our 2 will also represent our part. So 6 divided by 3 equals 2. These two smaller numbers, which are not the largest number, okay, like we discussed, these represent the parts, just like in a subtraction sentence, like 8 minus 4 equals 4. 8 is the biggest, it's going to be our whole number, and then our 2 parts represent the smaller numbers, okay? So for a multiplication sentence, we can think of it as a part times a part equals a whole. So remember, the combination of the 2 parts doesn't matter. You could do 2 times 3 or 3 times 2 to get the same answer. Okay? For this specific problem, though, it's saying, remember, the x equals groups of, right? So how many groups do we have? 1, 2, 3. So for this specific problem, we can say 3 times, or groups of what? 2. 3 times 2. 3 groups of 2, which is the same thing as saying 2, like we have here, 2 plus 2 plus 2, and that equals 6. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6. So as you can see, there is a relationship between division and multiplication. So please rewind this if you need extra practice. Otherwise, you can go into your Step Up Lesson 4 on the backside of what you did yesterday. And they're going to show you how to use arrays in the problem. So let's go over that before you begin your homework. Okay, so just how I made those circles and divided those paper clips, I can also think of it like this. Let's get my 6 paper clips back up here. So we said 3 times 2 equals 6. I can make an array out of that. 3 times 2 equals 6. There is my array. Okay, remember, an array is made up of 2 things: rows and columns. Remember, columns are up and down, and rows are side to side. So I like to think of like a movie theater. There's lots of rows of seats, and they go back and forth. And columns remind me of vertical structures that might help hold up your house, or maybe you might see some really pretty columns that look like cylinders outside of some fancy buildings. They look kind of like this. This is, okay, kind of like that. All right, so here is our array. Now, when we make our multiplication sentence, we look at the rows first. So how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3. 3 rows of what? 1, 2. So here is how we can make our multiplication sentence with an array. Okay, so we could also look at it like this. 6 divided by 3 equals, well, 6 divided by 3, here's our 3 rows, 1, 2, and 3. And how many are in each row? 2. All right, so remember, our math goals today is to find the relationship between multiplication and division. So just take your time, be patient with yourself, because we all take different amounts of time to understand different and new math concepts. So you know what? It's okay if you don't get it right away. I struggled when I was younger with division for a long time, and I finally got it one day and it felt so good. But you know what? You just got to work hard and try your best. Replay this video if you need to. That is totally fine. If you want extra practice, you can use your workbook after you do the math lesson in the packet. So you can go ahead and begin practicing in our Step Up Lesson 4. All right, have a good day. Bye.